Good, good morning, guys. Keith Engle for TGI Sports Talks. Sunday stream of consciousness. I don't know if you were hearing any music. I know we didn't have the background up. I had it before, and then I had to close the studio so I could do some things. We're remote from Mystic, Connecticut today, and going through a little rainstorm right now, but it's not too bad. It's been a beautiful 4 days here so far. And we got one more day left, and we're going to do a couple hours with you guys today. Welcome everybody watching today on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We're not on Roku today. We'll have some Roku news coming up probably shortly. We'll see how that works out. But I want to thank all the groups that allow me to share. John Gonzalez at the Sports Authorities, Greg Rawlings at America's Pastime, the Love for Baseball, Flo and the gang over there at Bottom Line Sports, Let's Talk Sports, where Flo and the gang do their podcasting, along with another great lineup of shows, just like on National Streaming Sports, where we're broadcasting also on their YouTube today. As I said, there'll be more Roku news to come up. Ken Krause at Golf Bud, Sports of All Sorts, and anybody else, because there's hundreds of groups that allow me to share this content, and I appreciate that and always will. Thumbs up to DDH, thumbs up to Mac McGrath, our people watching over these shows from wherever they are, and hopefully somewhere good. I didn't know where to go with that comment. And also a quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff out of now Ocean City, Maryland. He's moved from Pittsburgh. Still got a Pittsburgh focus. And just trying to check my battery here. We had a little technical difficulties getting this set up today. Hopefully if the feed is good, you can let me know. But a quick shout out to Ralph Williams, specifically the Sports Corner on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I've been a guest there. He does that with Smoking Jim Frazier, by the way. And I've been a guest there many times and always enjoy myself. Anyway, welcome, everybody. I'll get to your comments and good mornings in a second. What are we going to talk about today? Whatever you want. It's your show. Where's my banner? Sorry. There we go. There's the banner. We can do this like a regular show. We're going to be fine. We can talk about Major League Baseball. I got some things to talk about. We got the Deaver trade. We got another guy getting history taken out of his hands by his manager yesterday, and Clark Schmidt. I know some people are going to disagree with me. You're wrong, and I'll tell you why. We got the College World Series. One of the reasons I'll show you that you're wrong. LSU goes up 1-0 out of brilliant games. If you didn't watch this game last night, and you don't like 1-0 well-pitched games, you should stop watching baseball. Cal Raleigh gets to 30 home runs faster than any catcher in Major League history, becomes a superstar in front of our eyes. Injuries continue. Another reason why I'll talk to you about why Clark Schmidt should have been allowed to go for a no-hitter yesterday. Ron Washington on illness leave, if you will, with the Angels. We wish him well. Padres Dodgers dust up. Chip Carey, nonsensical. Just getting called out for some. Look, he had a flub during a commercial. Get off his back. Not sure what that was about. The NFL mini camps. Bills are going to be on Hard Knocks. Cheerleaders, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders getting a 400% increase. Pat's got some players in trouble. NBA Game 7. We love Game 7s. All sports. NBA, the Pacers force Game 7, make the Knicks look even worse for firing Tibbs. Aduka gets an extension. Knicks coaching search, blah, blah, blah. Might still be Kidd or Donovan if they don't get extensions where they are. Lakers sold for $10 billion. Jerry Buss bought them for $67 million in 1979. Mike Brown leading the... Oh, God. I got to get to some comments because now my notes are making me sick to my stomach. Who's with us? JB. How come there we go. I guess there's a little delay. JB, good to have you with us this morning. JB in the Back It Up Binge podcast. Check out his content always. Always good stuff there. I don't know why I got two things up there for JB. What's that? What's that say? Are we going to have come on. Maybe I got to be patient. There we go. Good morning, CA. I need you to make sure that the football fantasy, I think we started new, but I see some names in there of guys that may not have participated. If you want, I can send you. You're not on Facebook, right? I'm going to need a way to get a hold of you because I think you're a YouTube viewer, if I remember right. We need a way to get a hold of you so I can give you these names. And we got to make sure that Danny Fuller, I'm going to ask Danny if Danny and Paul are in today. Paul Spada want to get in. Leave CA your email addresses in the chat today so that and CA take a look for them. And if not, I'll get them to you. But maybe, I don't know, if you're not on Messenger, you can reach out to me at pats09@msn.com. Just make it clear who you are so I make sure I don't see it. I can look in my folder. We got to make sure that we don't have any dead weight in that fantasy football league this year. Please. Thank you for doing all that work, by the way. Rick Sherlock. How come do I have to get rid of these? I'm on my iPad. I have not used my iPad to do the show previously. Good morning, Rick. Good to have you with us. Rain may be a good reason to visit the casino. Yeah, I'm not with a bunch of casino people. I'd be going by myself. I think there's just a chance. Once this clears up, there's a chance of thunderstorms later. We're going to go down to the Seaport Museum. Probably have a bite later. Went to the aquarium yesterday, the beach on Friday. It's been a good weekend. Playing a bunch of games with guys I can't win. Dave Guyette. I guess I got to take everybody off. This is a pain, man. Good morning. Good morning, Dave Guyette. Good to have you with us this morning. I think I'm figuring this out now. Dave up in Amsterdam, New York. Dave, seriously, how does Aaron Boone pull Clark Schmidt? I don't care that he threw a career high 103 pitches. I don't know that he's not going out in the eighth inning and get a 5-pitch inning. Nonsense. The way this game is played today, I just had a conversation on the National Streaming Sports Sunday show. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't get myself wet here. I'm in a good spot under the umbrella here. We'll see. Anyway, 103 pitches. The problem is that he has to be pulled with 103 pitches. That's where you start. I know I get to be like a broken record on this topic, but this is ridiculous. It's a chance at history. Jack's telling me it's not a chance at history. Yes, it is. I think there's only been 13 no-hitters in Yankee history. Could be off with that number. Not by much. You deny this kid a chance at history. All of baseball is being denied a chance at history. In the College World Series yesterday, Cade Anderson, is that his name? Can't read my writing. I think it's or Cade Peterson. What is his name? God darn it. Now I got to look. Oh, I'm going to lose you. Forgot I can't do that. Cade Anderson, 130 pitch, complete game, 1-0 victory. You guys need to be watching college baseball. Jack says, well, the college coaches let him pitch. Not necessarily, by the way. But at least they let him pitch that day. It was the most pitches of his career. I don't see him any worse for the wear. And if he's worse for the wear, it's because of the way we do this with these damn pitchers now. You don't do them any favors by babying them and not allowing them to pitch more than 90 pitches. Clark Schmidt shouldn't be at a max of 103 pitches, is his career high at this point in his career. Now, I will point out to you that I did feel Clark Schmidt was going to bust out this year. Clark Schmidt is pitching big time. JB tonight has, how did this come up? Did I miss this before? I got an interview with tonight. Check out my talk with one half of the Bruise Brothers, Lyle Blackwood, the Killer Bees. Killer Bees, no? Are you a Dolphin fan, JB? I don't remember. I think maybe you are. Good stuff. Check out JB's stuff. He does some really good stuff. Oh, there it is. I see why it came up now. What's this do? I have no idea what that does. Sorry, I'm just playing. I haven't done this on my iPad before. I mean, what do you guys think? Am I wrong about Major League Baseball? You're taking away a chance for history out of kids' hands. You don't think no-hitters are... Jack was kind of... Again, I don't think I'm talking behind Jack's back, by the way, because I say these things to him right there. But, nobody's going to pitch no-hitters anymore? Come on. If I can do it in college, if a kid can throw 130 pitches for LSU against Coastal Carolina, by the way, what a story there, too. You're telling me Clark Schmidt can't do it? Clark Schmidt's pitching great, 2.84 ERA. Let him pitch deeper in the games, man. Your bullpen's not that good. Yankees have been skidding a little bit, by the way, as have the Mets. Mets broke a 7-game losing streak yesterday. What else? I keep going back between the Yankee game and the LSU game. What a great... If you're not watching college baseball, I keep telling you to watch it. You only got 2 left this year if the Chancelleers win today, which I think they will and force a game 3. They had a 26-game winning streak, which is unheard of today in college baseball, especially at this point of the season, because that 26-game winning streak equals the end of your season, your conference tournament, regional play, super regional play, and into the College World Series to get to the finals. Tremendous. Well, it's not good. That pop-up I just saw is not good. We won't get into that topic today, though. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll have to talk about it later. I don't know. So anyway, I don't understand the whole thing, and I'm never going to. And every time we have a situation like this, you can expect me to bring it up, because this is what's wrong with the game today. One of the reasons. We also had we had a conversation about the Padres Dodgers brawl the other night, and we should eliminate hitting guys with a pitch. Why? I don't want guys to see guys get hit in the head. But throwing inside is part of the game. Getting hit happens. If it's deliberate, then you get retaliation. And it should be allowed. Just don't throw guys' heads. These type of rivalries are good for baseball. We talked about it. Dodgers-Giants was a big rivalry back in the day. Padres-Dodgers seems to be a bigger rivalry today. Yankees-Red Sox. You don't feel the same vitriol that you felt in the past. Any of the last, I don't know how many years. James Martin made a great point on his on the show this morning that, trading jerseys was like the ruination of rivalries in sports. And I don't disagree. Too much fraternization. Too many guys like each other. I want them to hate each other. You can respect them, but hate your opponent. God. What do you got here, Chris? Good luck with that interview tonight, by the way, JB. Chris has got a happy 45th birthday to the Engle. I gotta look this one up. Hold on. Oh my God, Chris, you are taking your job seriously. I have to tell you right now. I can't tell you if they're I can't say the word enigmatic. If I don't know who the hell they are. Hold on. Doesn't come up with it's got to be a hockey player. There's no way it's not a hockey player, right? Russian hockey player. 45 years old today. Happy birthday, Ilya. Ilya, the only Ilya I really know a lot about is Ilya Kuryakin. Today's first question to test the age of my audience is, who is Ilya Kuryakin? First correct answer will win a free trip to their own backyard today. CA, kick the 2 that weren't active last season, all 10 left. Did he play? All right, cool. Did you send, do we have Danny and Paul on your list is a question. I want to make sure that they get in the pool. I don't want them left out. I am worried about at least 2 of the names in there. If you're sure they played, I trust your judgment. I promised Rick we wouldn't have dead weight in there this year. So, but you've done a great job with that. I appreciate it. We got Drew. How come I got hit this twice? Hello, Drew. Good to have you with us. Weather looks balmy in Connecticut. It's been beautiful here. Mid 80s, perfect weather for the last 4 days. And today's a little rain, like a thunderstorm. It's been a little drizzly this morning. I think it's going to, looks like it's about ready to clear up. It's going to be 85. The humidity is going up. I know at home it's going to be, I think when we get home tomorrow, it's going to be like 97 and 99 for the few days. But good morning, Drew. Good to have you with us. And I'll ask Drew. And I bet you Drew just, I don't know whether Drew's going to disagree with me or not. Drew, if you didn't hear my remarks here a little while ago, I find it highly ironic that we get one of the best College World Series games ever played, in my estimation, a 1-0 shutout, 130 pitch outing by the guy who's going to be the number one draft choice in baseball. And Clark Schmidt can't throw more than 103 pitches. And I don't give two you-know-whats that he's never thrown more than 103 pitches in his career. That's part of the problem. Part of the problem is he's at this point in his career, and this is his career high. And, by the way, I've watched guys go, we're going to let him go out there and throw 140 pitches. Put him out there in the 8th inning. I don't know that I'm not going to get a 5-inning inning or 5-pitch inning. You don't know this. And managers like Aaron Boone continue to look at their freaking index cards and wreck this game. We talked about team no-hitters. Nobody cares about team no-hitters. Nobody's keeping track of team no-hitters. Anyway, give your opinion there, Drew. This is going to happen, guys. Every time somebody gets pulled, I am going to go through this diatribe, so you might as well get used to it. Oh, God. What you got here? What's this say? The little circle around your photo on your page says live. That works, but you're showing up. Really? Yeah, it's got to be because of, hang on, let me see what I get. Usually I see a small crowd. We got a big crowd showing up when that happens. Let me just check what I see, and I might be able to do something about that. Drew, give me 2 seconds here. Crap, are you kidding me? I hope our feed is good here on my iPad. I wasn't sure how good the Wi-Fi was going to be. It's not going to let me get to my homepage. Okay, maybe we're not going to check it. I was going to try to check it on my phone, but it's being a little problematic. Let me try. Well, if I do this, I don't want to cut off the feed, so we're just going to have to leave it the way that it is. And I have said before, guys, if you don't see the show live in the feed, go up to the profile picture because you should see live there. If you click on the profile picture, as Drew said, you'll see the live broadcast if that ever happens. I do my best to catch it, but I don't, now that we've got a pretty good amount of people watching on different platforms, I don't really want to, disconnect and reconnect. So I appreciate the heads up there. False book. Thank you, Beth, for the false book. They're the worst. They're the absolute worst. And I promise you guys, and I would suggest if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, and I'm not blaming you if you haven't because I haven't pushed it a lot. We're going to really be, when I retire, we're going to be really making an effort to move subscribers to YouTube and also increase viewership. I mean, I don't do anything I don't share to any groups. It's a little harder on YouTube. But I plan on really, and I'm not going away from Facebook, but I plan on merely making a very big push on YouTube and figuring out how to optimize and get, 1,500 to 2,000 views like we do here. It's the only reason I'm staying here at Facebook, guys. Danny Fuller. Oh, I guess I could have just hit Danny twice. Danny Fuller, good morning. How are you? Danny, if you would put, and CA, Danny's one of the guys that I want to get in the pool, him and Paul Spada. So if you don't have their email addresses, Danny, could you put it in the chat so CA can grab it? And then CA, if you confirm that you have it, and when Paul comes, we'll try to do the same thing. In fact, Danny, if you know Paul's, I know he put it in the chat the other day, and if I access it, it's going to screw me up here. If you can put Paul's in the chat, that'd be great. I'd appreciate the help. And CA will get you guys in the league, or get you the invite so you can get yourself in the league. I appreciate that. And it is nice. It's not bad here, by the way. We're for those of you who joined us a little late, we're broadcasting live remotely from Mystic, Connecticut, where we've been since Thursday. It's been a beautiful, beautiful 4 days out here. Today's going to be a little bit different. It's a little chilly and drizzly this morning, but I've been out here since 6, I don't know, 5:45 or something, 6 o'clock. And it's been nice. So we're having fun. But Danny, if you do have yours and Paul's, I would appreciate it greatly. Hitting someone is okay with me, but does it need to be 100 miles an hour? Man from Uncle Sidekick, that a boy. Rick wins a free trip to his backyard. Ilian Kuryakin. Good job, Rick. Does it need to be 100? Well, I mean, if that's what you throw to be accurate, I don't know, whatever. Throw at the guy's backside. I don't want to throw up. I don't want to hurt guys. Don't get me wrong, but pitching inside has become a lost art. That's why you see guys get hit too, and they don't expect to get hit, and they get all ticked off. You know, when Gibson or Drysdale hit you at 100, by the way, you know, guys would just pick themselves up and go to first base because they knew they didn't own the inside part of the plate. The pitcher did. That's another thing that's changed in baseball and for the worse. I don't want to hurt guys. And I don't want to hit them for no reason. If you give up a home run, a long home run, then suck it up. Don't hit the guy just because he hit a home run off. Or the next guy. If he shows you up, wait for him to get up and get your revenge on him. By the way, pitchers not hitting have led to a lot of this nonsensical stuff that goes on today, too. I like a good baseball fight. You don't see any. And Danny, maybe you could comment more on that Dodger-Padre dust-up the other day. But dust-ups in Major League Baseball today are a bunch of guys standing around holding each other. Go back and watch. I watched it. Well, go back and watch any Red Sox-Yankee fight in the 70s on YouTube. I would say look up. There's a great one between the Braves and the Padres in the 80s. Greg Nettles is involved in all of these altercations, by the way. My man, Greg. Hall of Famer. Should be. Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Not allowed to share the league page for sign up here. No, that's fine. Actually, you can. I think I've done it before. Are you sure you can't do it? Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I can send it to Danny and Paul. All right, that's cool. I can do that. That's fine. Why can't you share it here? I always do it in the football pick'ems and whatnot. I should have done that today. If I wasn't on my iPad today, I probably would have done that. But Danny and Chris, Danny, well, Chris, if you want to get into it, but Danny and Paul will certainly get you in there. And again, I do appreciate all the hard work you've done there, buddy, because I'm really not interested in doing it. Chris could talk baseball all day long, a real guru. But I watched the game this year. My game of baseball is only visible to me at local parks. That's a great point, Chris, and I agree with it 100%. I still watch the games, obviously, because I need to talk about them and be pissed off about something, apparently. But the game has passed us by. I'm keeping an eye on my percentage because I have my, I think that thing's on a timer. That's why it's not working. I got it plugged in up there where there's some lights, but I'm not charging. But we should be fine through the show, I think. We've already got a half hour in almost, right? But Chris, you're right. I mean, the game is some of the game is still there. Some of the game I love is still there. But other parts of the game are becoming unrecognizable. And I think a lot of things have led to this. Obviously, contracts for pitchers have led to it. Sorry, we all play it. Fantasy baseball, fantasy sports is also a problem with the actual, not the playing of the sport, but the way people view it. I can't stand sitting in a bar watching guys root for their guys. I won't do that. I want my guys to do well. You'll never see me rooting for them. In football, baseball, if they're not on my team, I'm not rooting for them. But, it's not really affecting the way the game is played, but it's certainly affecting the way the game is viewed. But you're right, man. I'll tell you. That's why I said, Chris, go watch it. The College World Series last night was maybe the best ball game I've seen played all year. 1-0 affair, and a kid goes complete game, shutout. Hang on. Why is Aaron? Well, it's Aaron Boone because. No, I agree. It's not just Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone is my target because he's the most visible guy to me, and the guy that I see, again, does this as much as anybody or more. I do agree. It's baseball 101. Nolan Ryan just trying to change this. If you guys remember when he was the president of the Rangers, gosh, it's probably 20 years ago now. 15, 20, I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me with when. But he didn't last long enough to have an effect. He was having his minor league coordinators make sure, and coaches make sure that guys threw every day, and that they were going to be able to throw a lot of pitches, pitch in tough situations. We don't let guys pitch out of trouble. And we let Clark Smith pitch out of trouble, but it was only because it was the first inning. If that was the fifth inning, he'd have been out of the game. If you watch yesterday's game. So, no, it's not just Aaron Boone. He's my target today, Danny. Oh, thank you, Danny. Give me your opinion on that whole thing the other day. Here comes one of our favorite parts of the show. See if Keith can do well on the birthdays. So far, easy. Naylor playing today. I always mix up the Nailers, so I'm going to say that's not the guy who plays for the Diamondbacks. Not sure. Tyler O'Neill, outfielder with the Red Sox. Ian Kinsler, former great second baseman. Not great. Very good second baseman with the Tigers and the Rangers. Brad Hopp. Brad Hopp. I'm not sure. I think a pitcher. I know the name. I can't place him. Willie Harris, who was a very good pinch hitter and utility player. Esteban Yan, relief pitcher. Never quite reached his potential in my mind. Ron Hodges, Mets backup catcher, who when I was a kid thought was Gil Hodges' son. I was wrong. But Ron Hodges was a capable major league backup catcher. Had a little pop in his left-handed bat. Dave Tomlin, a pitcher, I believe, with the Padres and probably some others. Jake Wood. I want to say Jake Wood, from my Stratomatic days, was a very poor fielding shortstop with not sure who, but tell me if I'm wrong, in the 60s era. Russ Snyder. Catch me on that one. Carl Hubble, we all know. Carl Hubble famously struck out like 5 Hall of Famers in a row, I think, in the first All-Star game. Steel Arm Davis, that's a great name. Bill Williams. Is that Billy Williams? Well, what Jim Hunter are we talking about there? That's not Jim Catfish Hunter. He is in the Hall of Fame. So I don't know what Jim Hunter that is. Billy Williams is in the Hall of Fame. Oh, this got to be different guys then. Steel Arm Davis, don't know. Then if this is Bill Williams and Jim Hunter, the ones that are not in the Hall of Fame, then I don't know who they are. Those are a couple gets. Good gets. Chris F. Grave, all sports is getting harder to watch in 2025. I don't disagree even a little bit. I talked about some of the... Danny, if you weren't with me when I started, I wasn't able to share the first half hour of the national streaming sports Sunday show, but we were talking about this, and James Martin made a comment that the beginning of the ruination of sports was when they started trading jerseys. I don't know if it's quite then, but if you think about it, fraternization amongst players has made it harder to watch. You don't have rivalries the way you used to have them. There's so much. In football, we can't hit people. Quarterbacks have to wear skirts. It is probably not politically correct, right? So anyway, you're dead on, man. Dead on. This is where you find baseball. It's an excellent site on YouTube for finding all kinds of old games. I'll check that out. I'm always searching. I'm watching 70s baseball. I watch Pirtle games almost every day. will check that out there. This is where you find baseball on YouTube, I take it. Yep, YouTube says right there. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think you put this in a TGI Sports Talk chat, right? Danny, you and Paul. I didn't know I could forward the invite, so I'll make sure I get it to you. If not today, then when I get home. And we'll make sure you get in. We want Danny when I draft all those Giants. Pitch counts are one of the many banes against present day baseball. Players are always left wondering about career milestones that never achieved. Well, yeah. So, winning 20 games is like winning 30 games previously, right? Nobody's ever going to win 300 games again. Nobody's going to strike out 3,000 guys again. Nobody's going to get, 5. What did Catfish Hunter have? 5 straight 20 games seasons, 20 win seasons in the 70s. Nobody can do that now. Complete games. Tell me why, before these guys made all the money, that nobody got hurt, or either they played through it, and the guys will say, "Well, their careers." Most guys would pitch with injuries and probably pitch with frickin' needing Tommy John surgery or oh crap, what's the shoulder injury? Torn rotator cuffs for years. They sucked it up and pitched well for the most part. Money. And for managers like Aaron Boone, I'm not just singling out Aaron Boone necessarily. He's a guy yesterday, Danny. It's nonsensical. You take a chance. It is history. Jack's trying to tell me today, Jack, if you tune in and watch part of this, I'm not picking on you, dude, because I tell you. Oh, I just said, dude. I hate that. I'm shocked Jack Hirsch, who is my generation, the top half of my generation, the upper half of my generation, thinks the way he does about the game today, that it's okay that this is all changed and we'll never have no hitters again. No hitters aren't a big deal. Well, they aren't. Not like the Yankees have 100 in their history. They got like 13 or 12. But you're 100% right. And I hate what's going on with the game today. And I can't change it. I can go on here and I can bitch all I want. All it does is keep me. Who says they love Brad Hopp? Brad Hopp. Outfielder in Colorado? I know the name and I can't place it. Are we freezing? Paul, so Paul's giving me a freeze. I'm on my iPad. I'm on the wireless here in the Verbo. So I haven't seen any issue on my end, but I can't seem to view it on my phone, probably because, and if other people are using it in the house, which we probably have, 15 devices pulling from the internet right now. Let me see if I can. I know Drew said it wasn't coming up. I'm trying to get to my. See, when I go, I can't get to my page. I can't get to the home page where I can see the field. Maybe I can share. Hold on. Yep, I can see we're not on the stream. And again, if you don't see us live on the stream, click on the profile picture because you'll go there. And you guys can let me know if you're seeing it freeze. It could be on your end or it could be on my end. I don't see myself freezing right now as I'm looking at my phone. Anyway, guys can let me know what you think of the feed because I want to know whether I should use this iPad when I cruise or... I mean, the iPad itself should be fine. If anything, it would be an internet issue on one end or the other. What's Drew got here? One of my most obscene... should I read the rest of this? We're talking about obscene pet peeves, Drew. The constant platooning of batters, regardless of their history in the minors, against same-armed pitching and developing their ability to hit so they can become more complete. This isn't all that new, though. You go back to the 60s, Danny's Dodgers, Walter Alston did a lot of platooning, right? Danny, you could probably speak to that a little bit. Earl Weaver was one of the godfathers of this. It wasn't some of the guys we might think of. He had strict platoons for a lot of guys. Now he did some obviously. He did some research to see what guys did. He was the first guy to have all these index cards and what guys did against individual pitchers and same side of the plate pitchers and whatnot. But it is more. You do it now. Oh, look at Ron Bloomberg. Ron Bloomberg always swore he could hit lefties, and the only reason he couldn't was he didn't get enough chance. Ralph Houck wouldn't let him hit against lefties. Yankees wouldn't hit against lefties, even in the minor leagues. Bloomberg didn't. Well, actually, Bloomberg had a decent record against lefties in the minors. It really happened when he got to the majors. A little bit in Syracuse and AAA. If you read his book, Designated Hebrew, you'll see that it's a great book. It's a Ron Bloomberg. I had Ron Bloomberg as a guest, and he was tremendous, and the book is really good as well. So anyway, you're absolutely right, Drew. This is also something that drives me to drink. One of the many things it does. Perfect feed and sound for Rick. That's good. You can hear the birds chirping. That's sweet. They've kind of calmed down. I've noticed here, by the way, as I've gotten up pretty much like 5:30 every morning, had my coffee in the back porch up here behind the camera. That way. There's about, and they have shifts. The Orioles come in, which there's a huge amount of Orioles here, and they're beautiful. They come in first, and the Blue Jays come in. Then some Swallows of some kind come in. And they've got feeders and suet up everywhere here, and it's really pretty. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. So thank you. And this is one of the best Verbos I've stayed at. Very old building. You can tell it's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of character. We stayed in it one like 2 blocks away, or 2 streets up, I guess, last year. Very similar, but this one's a lot better shape and kept up a little bit. A lot of fun. Thank you for that. Paul again, Yo. Who you calling Yo? There we go. I do get a little delay sometime in putting the comments up, so that could be part of the feed. Rick Sherlock, that's me singing before 6 a.m. It is before. Danny joined us early again today. We're getting the old Danny Fuller back, the one who gets up at 5:30 a.m. to participate in this show. What did that say? Oh, sorry, I missed your comment. I'll go back here, Drew. Hold on. Come on. Jose Iglesias. Are we still talking baseball? I found that Iglesias seems to be a very popular name for Latinos these days. I root for my teams. If fantasy guys do well, great. That's what I do, Paul. I never root for individual guys. That's part, again, when we're talking about the way the game is played that Danny was talking about and Drew was talking about, really has nothing to do with fantasy baseball or fantasy sports, right? But my problem is, when I'm sitting with a bunch of people watching games and, half the place is rooting for their players. Oh, hate that, man. Especially football, the worst. I'm happy when a guy does well, but I'm rooting for my team. I only root for one team in a sport. One. That's what a fanatic is. Just had this discussion last night. I'm able to separate my fantasy team players from real life loyalties. Who does not? One does not affect the other. That's what it's got to be. My fantasy teams probably suffer because of it, but that's life. Believe me, winning fantasy baseball is far less important to me than my teams winning championships. But it is a real thing, though. I can tell you, Drew, and I'm sure you realize this, right? There's a lot of people who barely watch sports who play fantasy sports because, again, it's just another form of, not necessarily in your case or many people's cases, but it's become a whole industry of gambling now, right? with the draft kings of the world. Chris agrees with Drew. You can stunt a player's growth in platoon roles. He doesn't hit lefties well. When a player is in his 20s, work on hitting lefties to give the guy a chance. I agree 100%. Again, watch this up close when I was young with Ron Blomberg. Yankees just were convinced he would never hit lefties. I'm not convinced he wouldn't because he was a great hitter. Injured a lot. But Ralph Houck decided he could not hit lefties and he would not play him against lefties. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a new thing. Again, if I'm not mistaken, I know Earl Weaver was one of the first guys to do this, but he did it with he didn't always do it. I don't think, and I just read his book, The Last Manager, I think was the name of it. Not his book. Somebody wrote the book about him. And it was an excellent book. But he platooned a lot of veterans. I don't know if he did it with rookies quite as much without information, right? I know Walter Alston was big on this with the Dodgers. I'm reading a book right now about the Dodgers in the 60s. It focuses basically on Maury Wills, Sandy Koufax, Wes Parker, Johnny Roseboro were really the key, at least so far in this book, about halfway through, that they focused on. Drew's got something that I talked about at the top. Cal Raleigh hits his 30th. He's the first half switch hitter record. He's also a catcher record, I believe, Drew. With that lineup, why is anyone pitching to him? That's a great point. How are they doing, by the way? Let me get to my to get to my standings and such. I've got to get to my phone, so I apologize. And I'm getting worse. I'm getting a little better over here. Let me go. I want to see the MLB standings if I can, very quickly. Because the Mariners, who were playing really well and scoring lots of runs, went into a bit of a slump. Playing better now, 5-5 in their last 10, but they're back over 500. It's 5 behind the Astros. Yankees have only got a game and a half lead now, or to me, the surprising Rays. Toronto 3 back. Boston staying in it at 5. How about the Devers trade? Where's AC? I said on the MLB update, I don't know, a month ago when Devers was, pulling his nonsense that I'm not going to play first base. I'm not going to play. I want to play third. I don't want to play first. I don't want to DH. He's doing all this stuff. I said, get rid of this guy. And he was convinced. He wanted him gone, too, as a Red Sox fan. But he was convinced they were going to get, top-line starter for him. And again, I don't want to speak for AC. I want him to be able to recap that himself. But if you think, I do not think, if I'm a Red Sox fan, and we got a couple here. Scott's not with us, actually, yet. But we got Paul. I don't think this is a great trade for the Red Sox. To me, they got one decent prospect. What was Hicks' numbers before he got traded? I don't blame him for trading him. Quite frankly, you become a cancer on a team, you get rid of him. So you're right, Joe. I don't know why you would pitch to this guy when nobody else is hitting. At the moment, especially. But the offense has been to me, one of the bigger surprises in the early season was the Mariners' offense, where I don't know where they are today, but they were 1 point third in runs scored in the American League. Where are they today? 333. They're still fourth. That's a surprise. The pitching hasn't come through. I still expect this team to win that division and the Astros to finish second. Perfect game means something, not a one-hitter. Well, it wouldn't have been a perfect game, Dave. He didn't have a perfect game going, in fairness. He did have a no-hitter, and a no-hitter means something, not a one-hitter. And I'll be honest with you, and you can answer, Dave, Drew, all you guys can answer. Is a group, a team no-hitter as impactful as an individual no-hitter? No, it's not. How can it be? When you're talking about a pitcher who endured 9 innings without giving up a hit, not a guy, and the Yankees gave up 1 hit, but we've seen a plethora of team no-hitters in the last 10 years. Does anybody care or remember any of them? without looking it up because I don't, right? But I remember no hitters and some very forgettable players. Here's the other thing: I just thought of this actually. Some very forgettable pitchers have pitched no hitters, and we would never even remember these guys' names if they hadn't pitched a no hitter, right? It's YouTube, and oh, I see. That's fine. I can do it. So when you're commenting on YouTube, you can't just put a link in there, huh? Well, they probably don't want you going to another website. If they haven't changed again, YouTube discourages site sharing outside its web. Everybody does it. Why don't they just understand that? I'll figure it out. And I should have realized this myself. So yeah, I don't need to rely on you for that. I should be able to do it. No buy-in, Paul. It's all for fun and bragging rights. I can offer to buy a trophy for the winner like I did for the Itch Award, which I have yet to deliver on. I'm becoming the new Mark Mancini here. So it's all for bragging rights, my friend. But I'll get you and Danny the link probably when I get home tomorrow or Tuesday. MLB did a montage of video of father-son connections. David Weathers commented on it. You miss Ryan. Boy, I had no clue that David Weathers' brother pitched in the majors. That's a good one. We've had a couple conversations about brothers and father-sons pitching. For sure. I meant father and son connection with David Weathers. I don't remember Ryan Weathers. I'm trying to think of it. Good feeling second baseman for the Tigers and his number 6 rookie of the year voter in 1961. I got to look this guy up because I remember playing the Strato Mystery 60s in the Mystery Tournament, the 365 online version. And I swear I had this guy on my roster, and he was a horrible fielder. It's got to be a different guy than I'm thinking of. Number 6 rookie of the year. I don't think this guy played with the Tigers either. Because I know I used to play him, and his fielding was like a 5, and I had to play him one year at shortstop. You can imagine how ugly that got, Drew. Oh, we already saw that. What do you got here, CA? I can go to, if you're telling me I can share if I can invite people, and maybe that's one thing you can check out, CA. If I can't, you might be able to give me admin rights where I can. I think I should be able to go and share it with other, just copy the link from the website. I don't remember getting an email, so I have to go check my old other folder. But we'll check it out. We'll get it to them. I can probably find it, and I should be able to go to the website probably and do it. But we'll get it to Danny, and I'll get it to Danny and Paul in the next couple of days, and then next show we'll post it here to get us filled up. How about that? Nice crowd today. Good comments. The mess. Drew, you're getting as good with the nicknames as Danny and Rick. 7 solo HRs for a major league record. Did break a 7-game losing streak, I think, too, and they've fallen out of first place, if I'm not mistaken. They're tied for first after yesterday they beat up on the Phillies to get back into first place. What do the Mets need? Yankees have been, it hasn't been pitching to me for either team. It hasn't been pitching. It's been the bats. Well, the Yankees can't run the bases either. But we see how quickly, right? We talk about 400 for Aaron Judge. One bad week will take that out of play. But Mets with 7. All the home runs are like, all the records are like home runs. My actual point about pitchers, I was going to bring this up. Every show we do, and sorry we didn't have an MLB update Friday. We just logistically it wasn't going to work. We were at the beach and um, it just wasn't going to work out. But the plethora of injuries every week on the MLB update, I talk about it. We talk about it here. I mean, I don't get it. The pitchers, I get. I will say once again, because I'll refer back to, we're going to protect pitchers and not let them try to throw. We got 67% left at 9:30. We should be good. We're not going to give them a chance to throw a no-hitter because we have to protect them against themselves. Well, the actual protection they do with these arms, as Drew mentioned, because of money, mostly, is actually having the opposite effect. That pitchers are breaking down more often because they don't strengthen their arms enough. They don't throw every day like they might have in the past. They don't get extended, and all they're told to do is go throw as hard as they can for as long as they can. Chris Sale was starting to come back again, if I'm not mistaken, Drew. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I know he got off to a very bad start, but I think he started to turn the season around too. And I don't know how he broke. I think he hurt a rib, not his arm. So I should qualify. My comments are not necessarily about Chris Sale. But the Braves still are what? Well, they battled back to 5 games under, only 10 games back, and probably not too bad in the wild card, I'm going to guess. Well, 6 back in a wild card. See, when you have 12 wild cards, you get a chance to be alive. We've gone from 4-man rotations to a 5-man rotation to a 6-man rotation with a bullpen game every week. I can't say it better than that. Danny's got it dead on. And by the way, Danny, there'd be times where guys were going with 3-man rotations for short periods of time, especially in playoff series, right? That's the only way you're going to win 3 games in a series is to have 3-man rotations, but we don't do that anymore. I'm trying to think, and I can't remember what it was. As recently as I guess it wasn't that recent, 2001 World Series, I want to say Randy Johnson pitched game 6, and I don't have this backwards. If I do, I apologize. Kurt Schilling started game 7, and Randy Johnson pitched in game 7. You're not going to see that anymore. You can see guys start 3 games in a series. Being nice to Jack. He's the upper half of the base. Well, he probably degenerate. I don't know. To be honest with you, I do not know exactly how old Jack is. But if I'm 65 to be, Jack, I don't think Jack's 80. I'm gonna say Jack's 10 years older than me. And we do get on Jack because it's funny about his age and having seen Babe Ruth play in person. He did say, I don't know who, it might have been Sonia that told me that he did talk about the Willie Mays catch against Vic Wertz in the 54 World Series, and he said he was there. Now, if he was there and remembers being there, I got to believe he's at least like 10 years old in 1954, which would make him 81 years old. I don't think Jack's 81 years old. I could be wrong. I have frozen up a few times. I apologize for that. There's not much I can do. I'm at the mercy of the wireless here at the Verbo, and again, I'm even outside the house because too much racket going on inside. And God knows how many. There's 6 adults here that are probably got 12 devices going. In fact, I got 2 going myself. So there you go. So anyway, bear with me. It's probably the same way. It's probably no different than the cruise ship shows we do. Past a senior men's wrestling group, fresh from the gym. What I would have given for a brawl. Walk away like Heathcliff the cat, saying, "Oh, I needed that." So you were going to take on all these guys? Oh, a senior men's wrestling group. Uh, you know, it's similar to my philosophy on fighting now, Chris. If I haven't shared it here, I probably have, probably ad nauseum. Um, my theory now on fights. Oh, looks like it's raining harder. My theories on fights now are I only fight toddlers and very old women because I want a chance to win, just a chance. That's all. So I totally understand. If we can't get a solid 16, I'll add another bench slot. If we have a solid season, I hope to vote on any suggestions thereafter. Fair enough. I think we can get 16. I really do. And again, we appreciate the effort. I'm afraid about this next one here. What happened? John Gonzalez. I'm way behind. Did I miss some comments? I apologize. Somehow I think I jumped ahead here. Or am I going backwards? How come I can't see the times on these? Oh, 9:18. I got to go backwards. All right. Anyway, I think we're okay now. Jonathan Towles used homeopathic spiritual healing techniques in India to get better. It worked. Captain Sirius comes home to Winnipeg. There you go. Chris gives us the hockey news. John Gonzalez, the man from Legend, the man, the legend, best dressed man in admin world. Am I missing, guys? How am I missing all these comments? I apologize. Maybe I did miss that many. There we go. We should all vote on Keith's best color to wear. I wear red for my school. See, I don't think this is a bad color. When I got a little color on my face and it's not like the whitest man in America. I like the Dodger blue, quite frankly, Danny. Just to talk about colors for a second. I like Kelly green. I don't wear a lot of that. Anyway, I got red t-shirt on underneath too because I put the top on because it was a little chilly when I came out here. Reds released Jason Hayward. These guys always hook up with someone afterward and then get released again. He will Jason Hayward's career's over, right? I think we can agree on that. Try and catch up a little bit here. How are we doing? We're not that far behind. I almost missed a bunch of comments though. Good morning, John Gonzalez from Sports Authorities. As we mentioned at the top, the best group out there and the best admin. As Danny mentioned before, John Gonzalez is a legend in sports, Facebook sports pages. And John, don't worry about my gripes about Facebook. When I retire and I start focusing on YouTube, I'm not going away from Facebook. And I do appreciate the groups. I love the groups that have really shown such, given me such great support through the years I've been doing this and continue to do so. And listen, the views we'll get done here and we'll have 150. I'll share it to my faithful groups, including the Sports Authorities and many others. And, we'll be at 1,500 tomorrow morning. Drew May, what do you got here? Many do get lost when joining a new team. Many do well, yeah. Many do well with the change of scenery for sure. Glaber Torres is at least. This could have changed since I last looked at Glaber Torres' numbers because I don't spend a lot of time concentrating on Glaber Torres. But he had benefited from a change of scenery recently. Guys like Jason Hayward, though, are going to, I think. I mean, actually, Jason Hayward did pretty well for your team the last couple years, I think, Danny, but I think he's probably done. There's the one I put up before I knew John was here. GQ John Gonzalez, the man, the legend. It's a great group. We have a lot of fun there. If you guys haven't joined, and I've been trying to send out a few more invites. Facebook won't let me share. I gotta try now that I think about it, John. I think I can. I haven't been able to share from my TGI Sports Talk page, only from my personal page. So I gotta go back and try that. Him and Ghana joining Cubs finally, whatever the frick his name is. Assuming he's back successfully, this is a huge bump for the division leader. Listen, anybody gets pitchers back, it's a huge bump. I wonder if we're going to get a storm because the wind has picked up here recently as well. Can you still hear me over the wind? Actually, very good bump for there's a lot of guys. There are a lot that are injured. You're going to see. You're going to have guys hopefully coming back healthy, and it's just like picking up a guy at the trading deadline. They dumped two. I assume we're talking about Devers. They did. I mean, that's the only positive here, right? And again, I was all for them trading him, and all I said was they were not going to get fair value, and I don't think they did because of the $250 million that San Francisco, in this case, had to take on. I think, and AC's not here to defend himself, so I don't want to throw him too far on the bus. And if you're here, AC, please put up a comment. I just didn't think they'd get any kind of value for him, and look at, maybe we won't know for a couple of years. I don't see where they got anywhere near equal value for Devers because he still can hit. Danny Fuller, the new Sports Authority superstar. That a boy, Danny. You're a big shot there now, Danny. You're welcome. I think it was your exposure on this show that brought you to the Sports Authorities. Kidding. Feel bad for Ron Washington having to vacate the manager's chair for health reasons. He had this team playing decent baseball too, right? Recently, and again, I've lost the last few days. 2 games under now. That's since he got hurt. I think they won 1 in a row. I don't know what they haven't talked a lot about what his illness is. I do believe he's been at the games and watching from the general manager's box. So he may still have some input during the games. I don't know. It is a shame. Ron Washington I thought it was a shame that Ron Washington had taken this job for the Angels. I mean, Ron Washington's a lifer in baseball. I haven't found anybody in baseball make a negative comment about Ron Washington as a coach and a manager. The Braves team, when he left, spoke highly of him pretty much to a man, and I hope he's okay and can be back in that manager's chair soon. This team was playing decent baseball when he went out. Not great, decent. Drew got them stats. Drew does a lot of commenting on the Sports Authorities page as well. Thoughts on the Detroit Lions going into the season? What a season and what a collapse. It was not pretty in the playoffs against the Redskins. I'm sorry, the team formerly known as the Redskins. I don't want to offend anybody. That division's going to be tough, Chris. I think the Lions should be the favorite going into that into the season, but their window's closing. The window's not very wide or very not open for a long duration of time. And I think their window's closing if they don't get it done here soon. I expect that division to be tough. The Bears are going to be very good. I think they might be one of the most improved teams in football, quite frankly. I think Green Bay will be at least as good as they were last year, if not better. The wild card is kind of the Vikings and probably how well J.J. McCarthy plays. He's got a lot of weapons around him. If a rookie's going to do well, I guess he's not technically a rookie. He didn't play last year. If a rookie or a first-year quarterback is going to do well, he's set up to do well with the supporting cast that he has around him. This may come to who plays the best defense. Don't forget, the Lions also lost both coordinators, and if you don't think that's a big deal, look what happened to the Eagles a year after they lost the Super Bowl to Kansas City when they lost both their coordinators. There was problems on both sides of the football. Doesn't mean there will be with the Lions, but it's not. You can't just say, "Oh, they got great players and they'll do well." Lions defense was better last year, but it was not great. Certainly, as you saw in the playoffs. I mean, the Central and I'm sorry, the North. It's not the Central anymore. The North didn't really perform that well in the playoffs altogether. Just watch out for the Bears. Looks like the Cubs have the best outfield in Major League Baseball. I think that's a fair. I think they have a very good. I want to find just so I can see real quick, because I'm only clear on two of them. I got to take a quick look here, just so I don't misspeak. I mean, let's take a look at the Cubs outfield, and you guys can judge for yourselves. Ian Happ, I love Ian Happ's game. The Yankees were after Ian Happ for a couple of years, and were never able to pull the trigger. Pete Crow Armstrong, we all know the story there. Another great trade for the Mets. Well done, Mets. Whether that ends up in Nolan Ryan, Jim Fergosi territory or Amos Otis, Joe Foyt territory, insert your bad Met trade here. We'll see. And Kyle Tucker, I can't argue that. Not with the way Crow Armstrong's playing right now. And Ian Happ is an underrated player in my mind. Danny wins the Itch Award. Well, we're only halfway through the year, so I mean, and maybe we'll get 10 Itch Awards, and then we can buy trophies in bulk, Danny. I still got to get with Danny somehow, get Rick his trophy. Oh. Another enthusiastic vote of confidence for John Gonzalez and the sports authorities. It is a great site. John mixes contemporary, real-time issues with a lot of nostalgia, and I love it. John does the best job, and he makes a lot of money doing it too. I'm just kidding. John's got to work. John's a working stiff like the rest of us. Oh, sorry, I went backwards. It's a little confusing on my. Back to the brothers again. We got some brothers that haven't come up previously. Paul and Rick Rushell. Rick, a lot better pitcher than Paul. They both had kind of the same Keith Engle body, if I'm not mistaken. Rick was a really good pitcher for a while. Another guy the Yankees got after he's past his prime, unfortunately. But sorry, I'm just checking my my battery. I think we should be good. Good one. What we got here? Danny Fuller, Paul Spada, your brother from another mother and father. That's a great line. Danny, you are the man. You might be. You could be in a running for the Itch Award this year. Drew, you're awesome. One of John's favorites. This is becoming like the Sammy Maudlin. I'm gonna. I think it was Sammy Maudlin. The Sammy Maudlin show. I think I got it right. We'll see who knows that reference. The Ilya Kuryakin one went easy. I think it was a Sammy Maudlin show, we called it. It was on a skit, a sketch comedy show back in the 80s. I want to say the 80s. See who can come up with that. Is it a Stratomatic thing? I'd like to give it a try. Please, any info? I can send you. If you put in Stratomatic.com, you'll get the options. There's 365 where you can join. There's lots of different leagues you can join. There's mystery leagues where covers this. One's the 60s. There's one for the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. And each player has 5 or 6 cards. And when the season starts, when you draft them, you don't know. You've also got a salary cap, right? And everybody's assigned a salary. and you have to stay within that salary, whatever it might be. It varies. Um, and then there's 5 or 6 cards, and you don't know until the season starts. Well, actually, you don't know which card he has. Some of these guys are really good, and they can figure out what card they're on, so they know who to drop. I have not gotten that good yet, but I have a lot of fun. I play in a lot of leagues now. I'm playing in a 24-team league that I jumped on. I was invited to it. I played with the guy who runs it in another league, and he invited me in 24 teams. It's tough. It's a lot of fun. We just started a new season. The winner from the previous season gets to pick the next season they're going to use. And it could be anything from one of those mystery teams, because you can also go back and play, all-time greats. You can say pre-World War World War One or World War II all-time greats, or post-World War II all-time greats. They play individual seasons. I know the 1982 season's there. The 1969 season was there. I'm not sure if it still is. And you can play current day cards as well. So it's all what you like. There's a lot there to look at. I have a lot of fun with it. The mystery tournament's something I really enjoy, because they do it every year. It takes about 8 months to play, because you play every one of those mystery time frames that I mentioned. And then after you're done with all of those, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So 5 seasons. The top 24 go into the semifinals, and then they have a finals with 12. So you could theoretically have to play 12 seasons. All this Cubs talk, slamming Sammy Sosa made his first return to Wrigley. They blared Slam by 90s. I have no idea who that is. Hardcore gangster rap group Onyx. I didn't know Sammy even returned. Was he still bleached out white? I mean, I don't know what happened to him. He looked like, he came out of Michael Jackson's hyperbaric chamber, for crying out loud. There's Bill Pulver. This is the gardening show. Yes, we eliminated the sports show with lack of interest, and we started a gardening show. No, Billy, I haven't mentioned in a little while. I am broadcasting remote from Mystic, Connecticut this weekend. We've been here since Thursday, and we leave tomorrow. I want to make sure I take as much time off as I can before I retire. Still got a few weeks to go. I figured out when I get back, I'll have like 9 weeks left. And of those 9 weeks, I'm working a full week, I think. 2 of them. But good morning, Billy. Thank you for noticing I thought this was a good spot, a good background. I'm totally covered by the umbrella so that we're not getting wet. It looks like it stopped raining, though. Been a beautiful week here, and I would expect today to clear up, and we might get a thunderstorm later, but it's going to be nice. We're going down to the Seaport Museum later on. So thanks for joining us today, Billy. Mets need a better catcher. I don't think Alvarez is their answer. Where do you get more? Where are the good catchers? Yankee catchers have struggled. Alvarez, I thought, really was over the hump the second half 2 seasons ago. But now it's starting to look like a trend, right, John? I mean, you say, boy, that was a bad year last year, but he can bounce back. He's young. I haven't seen enough of the Mets so far this year to know about what his defense has been, but I know his bat has not reached where the Mets thought it would. In today's game, anybody Cal Raleigh, just whether this season's an aberration or he had some kind of revelation where this is going to be his career from now on. Well, I don't think he's going to hit 30 home runs by the All-Star break, well before the All-Star break. What do we got, a month to the All-Star game? He's got 30 home runs. You don't see a lot of guys hitting. Realmuto, Rauschman. They hit well for a few years and then they stop. But I don't think Alvarez has ever really reached his peak. John strongly believes the future of shortstop of the Yankees is playing in Somerset. Volpe's been in a pretty deep slump, which he's been prone to, by the way, right? I, I do think Volpe can be the shortstop on a championship team. He plays good defense. He runs the bases well. He goes into these horrific slumps, and I think it's when he starts to, just stop trying to put the ball in play and hit the other way. But everybody seems to be subject to these deep slumps today. But we'll see. He could be. Listen, nobody's going to play. Well, nobody. Very few guys are going to play 20 years in one place anymore. So, even if a Volpe continues to develop, they're going to have to pay him at some point. So the future may be in the minor leagues. I know there's a couple of guys in the minor leagues they like, but you never know. They're called prospects for a reason, right? We don't know what they'll do. Alvarez was a great prospect with the Mets. Volpe was a great prospect with the Yankees, and so was Peraza. Peraza hasn't hit yet at the major league level. Volpe's been head and shoulders above him, and he's been very erratic. Teams will start to unload. It's going to be very interesting. The problem with teams unloading, right, is are teams going to know they're out of it? I mean, teams like teams that you wouldn't expect it before the season that will be probably selling. Is Baltimore going to sell, or do they think they have a chance to come back? They've played better baseball recently. Still 10 games under 500, 11 out of first place. Not quite as bad in the wild card, obviously, but not good. Minnesota going to sell? I don't think they are. Kansas City probably won't sell. You'll have the White Sox. They'll have some good guys. Good, theoretically. Robert's hitting under 200. But, again, he could be, John, you mentioned, I think, or maybe it was Danny. This was Danny that made this comment. I saw John Gonzalez in the comment and messed up who it was. Danny, you mentioned earlier some guys need a change of scenery. Luis Robert may be one of those guys. You already saw them trade Vaughn. The Angels, the Rangers, are these teams going to think that they're contenders? And I don't mean contenders for the playoffs. I mean contenders to win. Atlanta, what's Atlanta going to do? I imagine Atlanta's going to trade and try to make the playoffs and think anything can happen from there. I would, based on the Texas and the Diamondbacks from 2 seasons ago. You just got to get to the playoffs. St. Louis won't be selling like we probably thought they would have. Doubtful the Brewers will sell. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh will be selling. Paul Skeens, if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm not trading him just yet. If he goes with 5 years worth of team control, this guy is going to get Juan Soto type return. What Washington got from San Diego, and forget about how they did afterwards. You got to think about what we thought about the guys at the time. He's going to get a huge return if they decide to trade him, and they probably will because they're the Pirates and they're never going to pay him. Arizona, what are they going to do with now Burns out for the year? But they're 7-3 in their last 3, so I don't know if there's going to be a lot of sellers. You could see teams that are selling and buying at the same time, right? We've seen more of that recently. I think it's fun. Best MLB win streak is 5 by the Cardinals. Phillies and Red Sox are 8-2 in their last 10. Rays have finally learned to love their bandbox stadium. Twins dying on the vine. No problem. I didn't mention the Red Sox, actually, John, in this whole deal. I mean, it's funny. I think they've played better. Since they traded Devers. Yeah, they're 8-2 in their last 10, as Drew said. Probably had in his comment. I just looked it up because I forgot what he said already. I think they'd be nuts to trade Duran. I like him. Yankees interested in the other Duran, the pitcher. I think it still said Duran from Minnesota if they sell. What a revolving door academy of players who played short for the Yankees before Jeter. You mean after Jeter? I think you mean after Jeter. You really thought Didi was going to be the next mainstay. Didi, listen, I wasn't crazy about the trade for Didi when it happened. I really liked Didi when he was here. He got hurt, and it wasn't really the same after his shoulder injury. They made the right move to get rid of him because he obviously went downhill. I think he went to the Phillies. But Didi had a couple of really good years here and did a good job. I don't know if there's been that big a revolving door because I think Didi, if I'm not mistaken, you got to think about this. I think Didi immediately followed Jeter. Maybe it was a year later. I'm not sure. From Didi, I mean, didn't they go from Didi to Volpe? I think. I mean, it's not like the revolving door that the Mets had at third base for decades. Yankees had one at third base, actually, now that I think about it, until they got Nettles. So, again, they have not adequately replaced Derek Jeter. I can tell you that. And it's shocking to me. It's been, I could be wrong with the whole timeline too, Chris, because when I think about the fact that I think Derek Jeter retired, God, when did he retire? 14 years? No, 11 years ago? I want to say 2014 or 2013. I cannot believe it's been 11, 12, 13 years since Derek Jeter retired. It's shocking to me. Good morning, Matt. How are you? Good to have Matt with us. Another country. Oh, not another country. We already had Danny here. Another country heard from out in California. We haven't had our overseas people this morning, so it's really only been now 3 countries. Toronto, or I'm sorry, Canada. Canada, the U.S., and California are all with us. Actually, as I say, I probably shouldn't be saying that because New York really is no better than freaking California in that conversation. But good morning, Matt. Great to have you with us. Matt, I forget. You're an Angels fan? Or are you an Angels fan? Or are you a Dodger fan? I know you went to Angels Dodgers a couple weeks ago. And I think you told me you were an Angels fan. We were just talking about how sad I think it is. Drew thinks it is about Ron Washington having to step away for a bit, and I hope it's a short period of time. He's done a really good job with very little material to work with. I think he's done a great job out there. Drew, Yankees retake run differential lead. Yankees retake the run differential lead, but they're 3-7 in these games where they've taken it back over. Yankees need to get. This is a June swoon. The Yankees have had. It feels like the last 10 years. Maybe I'm wrong. But it seems like every June this team takes a swoon. Sometimes it's been, debilitating to the point where it costs them a season. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. Listen, Yankees are going to be active at the trade deadline. Where they're going to go, I don't know. I think they need more pitching. As much as Will Warren has really started to make strides, throws in a stinker here and there. Clark Schmidt is pitching great. Yes, Aaron Boone, he could have thrown the 8th inning yesterday. You could have found out what he had. I don't care if it's his career high or not. You don't know he's not going to have a 5-inning, 8th inning. Ridiculous. But Clark Schmidt's pitched much, much better as I thought he would. I said, well, I do admit my mistakes. Right, Danny? So I'll toot my horn where I can. I said Clark Schmidt was ready to bust out, and he's getting closer and closer. He's pitched as well as anybody in baseball for the last month, in my mind. Well, maybe not anybody, but close. And Will Warren's pitched better. Rendon's been much better than I thought he could have been. He'll throw a stinker in there now and again, but Rendon's been okay. but they still need some help in that rotation. The bullpen needs some reinforcements, I think, too. So there's a lot of work to do there. Anyway, with these run differentials, Yankees and Cubs with the highest, Rockies at 204. I haven't done a Rockies update. Where are the Rockies? I don't have my calculator in front of me. Somebody's got to do the math for me. But I'm going to assume they're still on about a 31 game. Where are we? 77 games. If I just double that, 34. Maybe they're on a 35 game win pace. That'd be 127 losses. So they picked up the pace a little bit. Remember, this team was on a pace to win 26 for a while. Love hearing the birds before you disturb them too much. They're still around here. If I'm quiet, you can probably hear them. Birds don't like me. Volpe was all hype. He's an average shorts. I didn't say he's great. And the problem is he thinks he's a power hitter. When he concentrates on putting the ball in play, hitting the ball the other way, doing little things, he's actually helpful to this offense. When he doesn't, he goes into these horrific slumps. He's a good defensive player. I don't think you can fault him there. And again, here's the thing. Don't blame Volpe for the hype. That's the organization and us fans. Right? I still think Volpe's a competent guy that would, again, he's not carrying a team to the World Series. He's not Derek Jeter. He's never going to be. I know people are leaving. I may be left here alone. I don't know. But I think he's a competent player. I think with the right cast around him, they could win a World Series with Volpe playing shortstop. Is he the end all be all? No. And if the kid in the minors pans out, John, then guess what? Volpe will be elsewhere. And we'll be happy if he's still hyped up a little bit because they'll get more return for him. 5 innings about to be the new quality start benchmark. I don't doubt it, Danny. Again, isn't that ridiculous? And then baseball again. They do things to hurt themselves like this, right? And then Manfred also talks on the other side of his mouth about, well, we have to make some mandatory innings. You don't put a mandatory number on what you need to pitch either, because if a guy sucks, you need to get him out of the game, not leave him in 5 innings if he stinks. So they'll screw this up. You watch by trying to again legislate a way to get guys to pitch more innings. Stupid. Just change our whole approach to the game. We don't need new rules to fix this. Organizations can fix this like this. How can a kid from LSU pitch 130 pitches yesterday in a 1-0 shutout, but Clark Schmidt can't go out there after 103? That kid never pitched that many pitches before either. Oh, he's not making any money yet, and the coach has no vested interest in his future in Major League Baseball, where he's probably going to be the number 1 pick next year. Who is that? The Nationals, by the way? Drew says, as he's mentioned on the sports authorities, where is Jake? I can never say this guy. Bizarowski, close enough. Looks very much like an early Nolan Ryan. Tons of walks and Ks, and no one can square up on him. That's not a bad thing, because I'm pretty sure Nolan Ryan became a pretty decent pitcher after those early struggles. Mizarowski, did he not? He set a rookie record, didn't he, for 11 no-hit innings to start his career? Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Don't freak out. I'm all right. Wow. I got a bad cramp. Probably looked like I was having a heart attack. or was shot by a sniper or something. Wow. No, I've been sitting here since 8, drinking coffee and not hydrating. So, I think I'm all right. So anyway, I think Wizarowski, if I'm saying his name correctly, did set a rookie record for. I didn't see the brawl itself, so John, you can help me. Danny, you can help me. Drew can help me. I have been commenting that no baseball fights today, brawls, are anywhere near what they were in the 60s or 70s, especially the 70s. Go Google Yankees Red Sox brawls in the 70s. You know, when Nettles was separating Bill Lee's shoulder with a body slam. Go watch this Braves Padres brawl from the 80s. Again, Nettles is in the middle of that. Those were some awesome brawls. I didn't see this one. I will make sure that I get to watch it. Maybe I'll do it right now while we're talking here if I can. We'll see if I can pull it up. Hang on. But I just don't think, as a rule, baseball fights now are just, 40 guys standing around holding on to each other. Let me see what I can find out. I got something here. This is 9 minutes. I don't want 9 minutes. I want something short. Give me something short. Could it go on for 3 minutes? And by the way, I don't have a problem with guys getting hit. I really don't. And by the way, both managers I know got suspended. I like seeing fights in baseball. I like good rivalries where there's fight. You should respect your opponent. I think we talked about this. Respect your opponent, but hate them at the same time. There's no level of hate. Hope this plays. It doesn't screw up my rest of my. I'm seeing Schlitt and Roberts getting into it here a little bit. Is it going to play? I don't think it's going to play. Oh, here we go. I'll watch a little of this while we're talking. As a rule, you guys saw the fight. You can tell me if it's worth watching since I can't seem to pull it up right now. Bobby Meacham, there's a blast from the past. The old up the middle Meacham with Willie Randolph. I mean, listen, Bucky Dent was much better, but that was before Meacham. You're right. I would guess. I mean, there was. Actually, maybe I misread your comment earlier, Chris. You may have meant before Jeter there was a revolving door shortstop, because there was. After Bucky Dent, we had Roy Smalley, we had Andre Robertson, we had Meacham, we had Wayne Tollison, we had Carlos Santana, former Mets shortstop. That's 5. I guarantee you're right. And I probably misread your earlier comment, so I apologize. Well, so far I only see a bunch of guys standing around trying to get at each other. Dave Roberts, on the other side is 7 people yelling at Schlick. Again, it's a bunch of guys standing around. I want to see real brawls. Now, maybe it hasn't happened yet. Tatis looks like he's about ready to go after somebody right now. I'll keep watching this. Good call, though, Chris. Bobby Meacham was a decent player. Oh, Larry Milbourne. He played in 81. Played in the World Series. Trying to think of some other guys. They'll come to me as we go. Good call. Judge still leading Triple Crown categories. Actually, he's not. He's behind Raleigh in home runs, right? I think he's behind in RBIs, too. I can't go look now. I think he leads in hitting right now. He's still there. I'm pretty sure he's not leading the American League in anything but batting average at the moment. I looked at this quickly yesterday. I mean, I still see every time I'm fast forwarding a little bit. I still see every time I look, I see guys just standing around. So I'm going to get away from that. Let me take a quick look because I think I'm right, Drew. I could be wrong because I've been wrong once or twice in my life, unless I'm wrong right now. Let's see. Judge 360. Yeah, he's behind. He's 3 behind home runs, and he's 3 behind in RBIs to Raleigh in the American League. So he's right there though. He's still fighting for a triple crown. It's amazing though, how fast we go from Judge. I said Judge wasn't going to hit 400, right? He was going to go into a slump because he'll start to press teams. If he chases, he gets into slumps, right? We saw what happened, and that's been his playoff mo, and that's one of the reasons he struggled in the playoffs. Is he gets out of his comfort zone and kind of just he falls into the trap. These guys just don't throw him strikes. But a bad week this time of year. You saw Judge go from the 390s to the 360s in about 10 days. Still in a running for a triple crown, which how many have I seen in my lifetime, triple crowns? Yaz in 67. I know Frank Robinson did it in 66. We're getting to a place where I don't remember them happening. I know they happened in my lifetime. So Robinson, Yaz, they're very rare triple crowns. Cabrera did it just a handful of years ago. That might be the only 3 I can think of. I could be wrong. John was a Bucky Dent fan. I thought he did a great job for the Yankees. I did too. I mean, he didn't hit much, but he hit in the clutches. We know Boston fans, don't we? But Bucky was a steady fielder. Wasn't out. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't Ozzie Smith out there. But Bucky was steady. But you know what? He's a guy for whatever reason, and I've read I still read a lot of books about that Yankee era, and there's still new. It's hard to believe there's still new books coming out about that year after year. But Bucky wasn't one of Billy Martin's favorites or George Steinbrenner's favorites, quite frankly. He got there just before the 77 season started for Oscar Gamble, if I'm not mistaken. And Billy was never a big favorite or Bucky was never a big favorite of Billy's. He's a very good defensive player. So I agree with you 100% there. Lots of hot air coming from your area. For me, is it coming east or west, the heat? Or is it just me that's doing it? I'm lost a little. Chris is going to bring my boy Dave Portnoy up, raise about the Connecticut style pizza. When listen, we had pizza Thursday night from a place called Angie's. Mystic Pizzas. The area is famous. You saw a movie back in the 80s, Mystic Pizza. It's long gone. There could be a place in town called Mystic Pizza, but it's certainly not the same place. But this place we had it from was really good, I thought. I'm a little less discerning than some people. My wife is very discerning when it comes to pizza. Me, there's a lot of different pizzas I like, right? Sometimes I like New York style. Sometimes I like Chicago deep dish. Sometimes I like this. Sometimes I like that. So I like to try different things. Well, one of the things we got was spaghetti and meatball pizza, and I loved it. Nobody else liked it. But, in fact, I just had a piece for breakfast this morning. It was awesome. So, anyway, Portnoy, who we know, turned pizza reviews, Facebook pizza reviews, into almost $1 billion empire at Barstool. So the pizza reviews are classic. Again, I think Portnoy's a blowhard, but his pizza reviews are really something you got to watch, and he's still doing them. He's got a home in Saratoga. He's there. In fact, he'll be there probably starting next month a lot for the following 2 months or 6 weeks, whatever it is. I guess it's 6 weeks, I think. because he's a big race fan. He'll be at the track probably every weekend at least, if not more. And he'll do some pizza reviews up in our area. We finally found a pizza we like. And it's been 2 years trying to find a pizza we like. And my wife actually likes it. So it's a good thing. Matt says his nephew's baseball team played some games at Cooperstown. There you go. That's pretty cool. There's the SoCal catch. Cooperstown's really cool little town. I haven't been up now in a couple of years, but I used to go up there and go to the Baseball Hall of Fame, which we're going to get to this summer. I haven't been up in a couple of years now. I used to go up every 2 years or so, stay overnight maybe. It's really a throwback little town. It's a lot like Mystic here, probably, without the ocean. But it's that type of feel to the town, and everything revolves around the museum. But the whole place has kind of a throwback to the 50s feel in my mind. But if you haven't, you've obviously been. Did you go, Matt? Actually, now that I think about it, if you haven't been, you got to go. And they have, I know they have all summer long, pretty much every weekend, they have kids tournaments. I think there's, I want to say 4 or 6 diamonds that they play on up there, and have these huge tournaments all summer long, pretty much from Memorial Day right through to almost Labor Day. Deaver's a great addition for the Giants, but you knew the day the Sox signed Bregman, it was goodbye, Raffy. Hey, look, they're good. They made a good deal in getting rid of the contract, right? Just getting rid of that contract is good. They didn't get the haul that I think some Red Sox fans thought they could get for a guy who's a good hitter, not a good fielder. He's another guy who doesn't give you anything except his bat. Yeah, he's a good addition for the Giants because they need a bat and a lefty bat. And he can play third base, and he can be happy and not pout. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. The Red Sox now have gotten hot since they made this trade, or maybe just before they made this trade. They are 8-2 in their last 10. That's going to be interesting to see what they do at the deadline. You mentioned, John, I think it was you that mentioned they may trade Duran. They might trade Bregman, quite frankly. Yankees should keep their ears open. I still think they're better with Jazz at second and hopefully somebody else at third. Right now, most days they're playing Jazz at third and DJ at second. And DJ, I mean, I guess he looks a little bit better recently, but he's never going to be the player he was. It's obvious he's, winding down his career, and, he may not be a total hole in that lineup. And he'll be steady on defense, but he's probably going to break down again. If they decide they want to sell, there's a lot of guys I think we could say that about, no? Dr. Strangelove. Who was the first Dr. Strangelove? Wasn't it, who was a guy in the 60s that, it wasn't Dick Groat. There's another guy, Dick Groat. I don't think it's Dick Groat. There's another guy I'm thinking of that was really, maybe the first Dr. Strangelove. But there's been a few 30 years, right? A lot of third basemen, Dr. Strangelove. Mark Reynolds, I feel like, was a Dr. Strangelove. If you remember, Mark Reynolds hit a lot of homers and low batting average, no glove. Again, you bring back the comment that about the Dodgers and Michael Jackson wearing a glove on one hand for no apparent reason. Did Keith just say, watch out for the... I did. Danny, this will be this year's giant pick, will be the Bears, probably. Again, it's July. It's not even July. It's June. I got time to, totally change my take on this. But right now, crooked. I don't know why. I like the Bears to improve. So, Danny, you don't think teams go from 6 wins or 4 wins to 10 wins? I bet you it happens more often than you think. You may also hear me start talking a lot about my Patriots as well. Got to see some stuff in camp before I make any bold predictions. But I think we're closer to 9 wins than we are to 4. Or when I say closer, I mean a better chance to get to 9 wins than 4. O'Neal Cruz is a bust, even in center field, 98K. That's nice. Pretty standard. 26 and 3 in stolen bases, right? One of the easiest things to do if you can run a little bit now is to steal a bunch of bases. That's the Pirates, right? Why they move him? Why move a guy out of his comfort zone? I mean, I don't think he was a horrible, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think he was a horrible defensive shortstop. You move guys out of places they're comfortable and been playing. You're risking, more than just their defense. You're risking offensive production, as you can see with guys like O'Neal Cruz. This Pirate organization is so messed up. Them and the Rockies and the Marlins. I mean, they got to be the 3 worst. You can rank them any way you want. I mean, obviously, wins and losses, we'd rank the Rockies last. But they're no worse than the Pirates. The Pirates are no better than Colorado when it comes to running an organization. This team will constantly be developing players and moving them on or holding on to the wrong ones. Does anybody in this group here think that Paul Skeens is going to sign a long-term relationship with the Pirates? Because I don't. I think there's 0 chance. I mean, if they're smart, they'd be locking him up now, like other teams have done, like the Padres did with Tatis, and other teams have done with some of their young stars and locked them up. Don't give them a bunch of outs. Right? How are we doing? What time is it? We got about 10 minutes left, guys. We did well today. Let's see if we can get caught up on the comments before we have to go. I'll go a little long if I have to, I guess. But with the massive firepower that the Dodgers and Padres possess, the Giants had to keep up with the big boys and add dealers. I don't blame the Giants. They need a bat. They don't have a history with him. He hasn't gone in there and been a problem in the clubhouse. Hopefully he won't be. Hopefully he gets traded and helps his team. I like the Giants. I picked the Giants to make the playoffs. So this is a good trade. This is a good trade for the Giants. They didn't give up but one guy with a decent, in my mind, with a decent chance to be a very productive Major League Baseball player. I could be wrong. But Red Sox fans are telling you they don't think this is they got fair. Well, I think they got fair value because you're having to take on a $250 million contract, and you got rid of one. But some Red Sox fans thought they were going to get a number 1 starter for him. Nuts. Major league leader in RBIs is trade candidate Eugenie Suarez with 67. He's had a pretty good year. He's got a lot of home runs too, right, Drew? Doesn't he have about 25 home runs? I don't know what he's hitting. Maybe we should see what he's hitting. He'd look good in pinstripes right now because he's hitting 250. That's pretty good for him. For the life of me, off the top of my head, I'm not sure what kind of fielder he is. He'd look really good in pinstripes right now. If he's not Dr. Strangeglove. Fernando Rodney pitching well with the Hamilton Cardinals up in here in Toronto. It's not a comeback. He's not some wash-up. He just flat out loves playing baseball. What is that? Independent? Are they an independent league? Hamilton? familiar with some of the independent teams here in the States, but not with the Hamilton Cardinals. Rodney had some decent years. Classic relief pitcher, right? I mean, he'd be good or horrible. What did I do? How come I keep missing? Did I miss some? No, I guess I just went backwards here. Sorry about that. Paul and Danny, the Laverne and Shirley of our time. I love John. I'm sorry, Danny's comment about my brother from another mother and father. Billy, with the ultimate brother combination of the Alou brothers, played together in the same outfield one game, with the Giants making them the all-brother outfield in Major League history. I would say because they played together, but I would think, I'm trying to think, the all-brother outfield. Felipe was the best player in this group. Matty hit, I think, won a batting title. Felipe had some really big years. I read his autobiography, which was very good, by the way. And then became a really good manager as well. Jesus was a good pinch hitter and fill-in bench player for the Astros and the A's and some others. Danny and Paul may resent the Milwaukee reference. Well, no, Paul's right there in Wisconsin. Not sure where in Wisconsin, but Paul is in Wisconsin. He roots for Boston and teams. He roots for Oregon in football and college football, and he's all over the place. I forgot to mention the Suzuki in that outfield. I did forget to mention him. Thank you. You know, he's been a player that's been very, I think, under the radar since he came into from Japan. I know he's hurt for a little bit his rookie year. That's a good catch by you. I did forget him as I was looking quickly at my reference material, which is not as readily at my disposal as usual. That's a great pick or a great catch. Those four guys. I love Ian Happen. He's a guy that has been underrated for a bunch of years. Kyle Tucker is going to be the big get in free agency. Whether it's the Cubs re-signing him or I'm signing somewhere else for big bucks. See New York Yankees. Starting to rain here a little bit again. Let me move my stuff back over here. Danny actually loves it. Wife's been listening while getting ready. We're cabin alone and got you on the outdoor speaker. She says, "Drop me all if y'all don't need me." She is in pork and beans, and we'd love to even last season, so we have 7. I'm really lost here. What? Wife's been listening while getting ready. I get that. We're cabin alone. Got you on the indoor-outdoor speakers. I get that. She says, "Drop me if y'all don't need me." She is pork and beans, so we'd even... Oh, she's pork and beans in the... Oh, she's in the league. Is that what we're saying? I'm lost. Oh, God. Not enough coffee. 2 cups. Jacob Wilson has been quite a revelation. I agree, John. There's been some good stories in baseball, I think, this year myself. Fantasy baseball update. Keith and Rick, I just got even. I've been behind 5-6 points all week. Got to remember to adjust my lineup. I missed it one night too. I missed a win from Wheeler, which really might cost me today by not getting my lineup in time Friday night, I think it was. I was just busy all day and never thought to look at it until about 8 o'clock at night. I'd like to wish you luck, Rick, Drew, but I'm shooting at that 4th spot. That's all I care about, making the playoffs. However, she's pretty good because she has picked a lot picked up a lot from him over the decades of being together. Only reminder of putting in waivers the first couple of weeks, and she did the rest. Was she in our league last year, you're saying, or she's in for this year? Everybody's welcome, including Danny and Paul. We'll get you that this week, I promise. The Dodgers have 2 catchers, John Gonzalez and his kid Dalton Rushing, that are going to be amazing. They've done pretty well with catchers, I think, over the last few years. I mean, Will Smith has played well, and I'm trying to think of who's the guy who doesn't play a ton or didn't play a ton during their World Series, a couple of their World Series years. Dodgers have done well with catchers, I think, through the years. Lombard looks like a young A-Rod with only 19 and a big bat. I like Lombard, but again, we don't know. The jury's still out on Dominguez, right? I think he's going to be a player, and I hope they don't give up on him too soon. Some teams just quit on kids too soon. I guess we're going to go. I don't know how much more we got here. I got a lot of comments, man. Guys, I don't know if we're going to get to all these. We're going to try. I'm going to get going a little quicker, so don't get mad at me. Where was I? Crap. Now I lost where I was. Here we go. Thinking of a few hitters who were drafted as a catcher. Taylor Ward, good bat, home runs, doesn't hit much for average. He's on one of my teams. Carlos Delgado, good one. Banez, I did not know about that. I did know about Carlos Delgado, though. We already got that. Sorry about that. On Friday, I was asked if S. Sanders dropped in the draft. He was related to his immaturity entitlement. Jack labeled it as ridiculous. I don't think that's ridiculous. I mean, somebody who gets cited for driving over 100 miles an hour twice in like 10 days, I would say has a certain level of immaturity to them and maybe even entitlement. I don't know, we could tie entitlement to it, I suppose. I don't think that would cover him dropping to the 5th round, though, entirely. I certainly don't think it's ridiculous at all. I think it's very, very possible. Jacob Wilson is in the newest Luis. I'm not going to try to say his name right this second. Swings at everything without walking, still has the best back control to make it work. You don't see a lot of guys with really high averages who swing at everything, right? Araz is one of those guys here in the near term. We had guys like Yogi. Manny Sanguillen was a great bad ball hitter. Even Clemente didn't take a lot of walks, right? But you don't see a lot of that. Future best catching prospect is Ethan Salas of San Diego. There's a guy to keep an eye on. Yankees went to Kiner Falefa. I forgot about him. That was after Jeter. Very good. NHL about to change the Stanley Cup to Florida Cup. By the way, since Canada has won a Stanley Cup, Florida, the state of Florida, has 5. So states you wouldn't think of as hockey hotbeds. 5 in Florida, 1 in Texas, 1 in Vegas. All since a Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup. Love the Yanks, but we'll follow the other. So that's right, too. You're a Yankee fan. You're a good man, Matt. With those Mets, Yankees, yes. Yes. Yankees need a second or third baseman. Maybe they need another outfielder. Maybe not another outfielder. I think Dominguez is going to have a better second half. But they got to back up the starting pitch, and they got to back up the bullpen. There's a lot to be done. Hope so on Salas. Padres said the same thing about Luis Campusano, and it never worked out. There's a lot. I could probably come up with 100 guys that never freaking worked out. Paul likes Colorado catcher prospect Ford. Ford hasn't hit well, Paul. Though he's improved this year, not as much power as they expected. Ironically, he's much better at stealing bases. That's a little like Real Mutu. Well, there you go. I guess that's a thank you. Mets stopping stopgap pitching has finally disintegrated as expected. Your team ERA has fallen to 3.15, which is still pretty damn good. I think their hitting is hurting them more. I do need a cold beer. Am I that far behind? Oh my God! I'm trying to get to all these things. I say the same thing about Devers and the Red Sox. Decision makers deserve much of the blame. Agreed. If I'm hired as general manager and the company wants me to now move the plant manager, I have a choice to stay or leave. Well, Devers didn't have the same option. He'll still be fine playing with the Yanks, unfortunately. Yes, probably bad for you. Robert went up and bumped. Robert. Oh, Roberts went up, sorry, and bumped Schlitt, then ran behind his players. That is a very bad luck. I got to watch the whole thing. Because I fast forward a bit, and all I could see him standing behind about 6 guys, trying, that whole, let me at him, and it's a bad look. Yeah. You guys, if you want brawls, you got to go back to the 70s and 80s. Alvaro Espinoza in the 90s. Good one, Matt. Thank you. That's a great one. Hard to believe with the White Sox, Angels. I can't spend a lot of time on these right now, Drew. Sorry. Yeah. The Rangers are the big surprise in that group, for sure. And there he was. Very good catch by Matt and by Chris. My mind can't always remember all of them. That's very good. Sorry, yeah, I meant this. He's still leading. That's fine. All good. Valdez still leading with 2 complete games. Poke. Thank you. I'm not biting. You know what? I like Jerry Kenny. That's a good call. My all-time favorite Yankee is Greg Nettles, by the way. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Nettles, because I played a lot of third base and shortstop. Nettles was my guy. Bobby Mercer is my all-time Yankee. And Thurman is in there as well. Roseberry Marshall. That was a good one. I'm sure I'm going to get to that in the book I'm reading right now. If you don't know, Marshall turned around, and I think there was a previous beef, but he started hitting Roseboro over the head with a bat. Love to see Juan Gonzalez as a hitting coach. Whenever Juan had 2 strikes on him, he always choked up. Luis Gonzalez was a very good hitter, home runs or not. Luis Gonzalez had a career renaissance late in his career, for sure. Later in his career. What New York team finally wins the next championship? I won't say the Giants. How about we say the Yankees? Although the Knicks are closer than you think. The Pacers' results have shown you the Knicks are much closer than you think, and they made a stupid decision to fire Tibbs. Danny loves pizza with Lucky Charms. You guys are killing me. I'm trying so hard to get caught up here. John Gonzalez, Captain Crunch, and Tony Pizza. If I miss something quickly, don't encourage Mr. GQ. Glad DJ's back, but his tank is running on empty. Agree. I've seen him in spurts play decent, and then he just reverts back to injury prone. DJ, got to get there, Matt. I'm telling you. Dick Stewart, thank you. That's a guy I was thinking of. Drew, thank you. First base for the A's or the Pirates and the Red Sox. Dr. Green, strange glove. Aaron greeted him once with hello, stone fingers. I'm trying to catch up, guys, so we can get out of here. Dodgers would have given the Red Sox a better group of prospects. Probably would have. They could afford it. Wasted. That is Andrew McCutcheon. Not sure what that is. I do believe Heel will be back. Actually, I'm not sure now. I mean, they thought originally he'd be back by June. We'll get an update for the MLB update next week. He's a big missing piece here. Yes, wife was in fantasy football last season, just missed the championship playoffs, but she dropped out. If needed, great show. Everyone enjoy Sports Sunday. That's good. We'll use her. That's fine. The Yankees next to bring back Dante, not Calipari. You're talking about Dante DiVincenzo. Oh, Calipari coming. Calipari's not coming to MSG. We've seen he can't coach. I think we had this. I think you might have posted this on the Sports Authority, John. We've seen what he can do. He's not an NBA coach. He's a college coach, and he's going to retire there. If he's a coach, he's a coach, but I just don't see it happening. Danny says, thanks for taking time to make your Sunday. I love doing this, guys. That's why I take the time and love it. Danny, thank you so much. I think we know what that is. I appreciate it more than you know. Good man. Thank you. Who you got in Game 7? I want the Pacers. I think Oklahoma City wins. I'm going to root for the Pacers, though. I tell you, every time you think they're done, they fight back, and it'll also make the Knicks look worse for firing Tibbs. I know you're not unhappy with that move. I am. Take care, Matt. Good to have you with us. Get up here to Cooperstown. Have a great week, Drew. Good to see you. Danny says, go OKC. Guys, appreciate you coming with me today on this ride, and we will see you. I don't know. Is any music playing when I do this or not? Oh, I see what happened. There we go. It's the wrong music, but how about that? Guys, Keith Engle, the TGI Sports Talk. Catch you Friday. Remember, we're on hiatus with the college football huddle. We'll see you Friday. Bye-bye.